Welcome, everyone, to episode 76 of Disney with the Ducks. Tonight, you've got me, John Kral, with you, and I've got my friends Gene,
Hello.
Lonnie,
Hello, everybody.
and Jodie with me tonight.
Hi, friends.
All right. So, like we do every week, we're going to ask a question to try to get to know each other a little better and help our listeners get to know us a little better. And the question for tonight is, what is your favorite thing to do at the beach? So, Gene, what do you like to do at the beach? I know you guys take a lot of trips to the beach.
There's so much that I like, but just really just relaxing and not doing much. Watching the kids play, and my kids are really active, and we usually go with family, and so there's sometimes little kids, and just watching them all interact. That's one of my very favorite things, just to be there and be with family and watch them all do their thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think that's really fun. Like, that's some really good people watching, and just everybody's in a good mood at the beach.
Mhm.
So, you don't have a lot of like fights and stuff, right? I mean, it's all just people having fun.
Mhm.
When you go to the beach, Gene, do you bring like the whole umbrella and tent setup and everything, or how do you go about doing that?
It just depends. Like we've been where the place you stay, condo or whatever, has like umbrella and chairs and stuff. But we'll bring an umbrella down also and put an umbrella in the sand. When the kids were little, we had a tent, that we'd set up to put the kids to sleep in or something like that. I saw one day I'm going to get one. There's this tent that I've just seen recently that's just kind of looks different, but it's easy to set up, and it's just a really good. I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm going to get one of those. Just when you're tired of the sun, you just get under the tent, But it's easier than just digging a hole, or you see a guy, the beach guy with a drill, with a great big auger on it, making a hole and putting an umbrella in the sand. It's easier than that. It's just you put this thing up. It's got these sticks that that unfold, and then you put some little tethers in the ground. It's real easy to set up, and it just looks really, really easy and good, and it works.
That's nice. We have one, two of those, and I love it because, yeah, like you said, it gets the kids out of there. The only problem is you have to fill the little bags with sand and all that kind of stuff, and sand gets everywhere. They should make the beach a little less sandy. I feel.
Yeah.
I just think that would be.
The key to getting the sand off, though, is baby powder. So if you go to the beach and you just keep a little thing of baby powder, when you get out of the sand, you just rub some baby powder, and all the sand comes right off your feet and stuff.
There's like a podcast called
Really?
Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet. And it's about the ridiculous reviews that people do after vacations. And it was great. Vacation was great, but the beach was just so sandy. Or, man,
Really?
I really enjoyed going to Mexico, but everybody spoke Spanish, or stupid stuff like that.
I think I found me a new podcast to listen to.
Yeah, that's a what's it called? Water Too Wet.
I
Beach Too
think it's
Sandy?
called Water Too Wet, Beach Too Sandy, or the reverse. It's something silly like that.
It's funny.
But it's all just silly reviews that people have done over the years that they've
Nice.
found.
I got to check that out. That sounds funny.
Mm.
All right, Lonnie, what's your favorite thing to do when you guys go to the beach?
Okay, so my favorite thing to do is just get there, find a chair at my favorite beach, which is Castaway Key, and set up under the little umbrella and just wait. Because when you're sitting there relaxing and looking at the water, everybody's having fun. This guy runs around and he asks you what you want, and you tell him, and he runs off and he gets it. That's my favorite part of the beach. Just waiting for that guy to come, and I see him over there. Jodie knows. He comes over, and I say, "Hey, I want this," and he says, "Okay," and he comes back with that. There you go.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get much better than
No.
that.
That's a great point. Christy and I were sitting by the pool today. We're reading books, and I'm like, we just got back from Mexico, and I drank a whole bunch of non-alcoholic Miami Vices. And I turned to her and I said, "Who's going to get my Miami Vice?" It's
Crockett. Crockett wasn't there anymore.
half
Wait.
pina colada,
Oh,
half strawberry daiquiri.
Half what?
Half strawberry daiquiri and half pina colada.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that
And I
sounds
don't
really
partake
good.
of the devil's nectar, so I just have a little, that's my indulgence while I'm
Yeah.
there. I drink a bunch of Miami Vices.
Nice. That's awesome. I love.
But not at home. There's nobody to do that for me,
No.
Yeah. Well, your daughter still lives at home. Why isn't she helping out her parents?
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we should get that movement going. We need the kids to start pulling their weight. And by
They
that I
step
mean,
up
you
for
know,
sure.
mixing up fun drinks and bringing us coffee and things like that.
Yeah.
All right, Jody, what about you? What's your favorite thing to do at the beach?
When we're on a beach vacation, which is not too often, I can't just sit there. That's not my modus operandi. So I either have to have a ball or a beach game, like the one with the you toss and you throw the thing, it's some sort of not cornhole, but something like that, some sort of beach game. But
Can
at
jam.
Castaway, my favorite thing to do at Castaway is snorkel and look for the hidden treasures because
Mm.
it's Disney, of course. So they
Mhm.
have all sorts of sunken things in the water, like Prince Eric and League 2000 Leagues Under the Sea ship and Mickey and a treasure box and all this stuff. So you get to snorkel out there and you get to find all the stuff out in the water.
That's
So
cool.
that's my favorite thing to do at Castaway. So
That sounds really fun.
it really is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, my answer is just
Except
going to be
that
boring.
we discovered we packed the 4 snorkels. Side story. Packed the 4 snorkels, and we have 2 kid size and 2 adult size. And it's obviously been a while since the kids have used theirs. So Landon goes out with his snorkel on. And it's the kid size, and all this water is coming in. He's like, I don't think this fits anymore. I'm like, oh man, why did we not try this on before we left the house? Because the box, they're kind of big, right? They take up a lot of space. We packed all 4 snorkel gears only to find out that 2 of them were too small and we shouldn't have even packed them. So, because they're the face, it's just one mask. Like you don't have to do the mask and the thing, like it's all big one piece so that you can breathe naturally. Yeah, but that was fail on our part that we did not test it before we left. So we packed it all the way there, drug a whole extra piece of luggage, only to find out that the kid sizes are too small. Good job there by us.
Well, ponchos,
Well, hopefully you and
snorkel
Tim then
gear.
got
I mean,
Clearly,
yeah.
it's just
clearly
happening.
I have to test the equipment before we leave. I should know by now. I should know.
Yeah. And hopefully you and Tim got some snorkel time in together without the kids.
He didn't. I just snorkeled with Landon. He was hanging out with everybody else. He was doing the Lonnie G thing, waiting on the beach, waiting for someone to come wait on him.
Oh, and that's perfect.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Well, my favorite thing at the beach is like, I guess it has to be a western facing beach, but I love watching sunsets over beaches. It's one of my all-time favorite things. It's like up there with Happily Ever After. I just love it. And now that my kids we went on our first beach vacation a couple weeks ago, ever, and the kids loved it. So we were playing like football and just playing catch and all that kind of stuff. So, but I think watching a sunset is probably my absolute favorite thing. So yeah,
Good stuff.
but that leads us into our show for tonight. Is Jody and her family had an amazing epic adventure through multiple different Disney, I guess, entities, right? So talking about beaches and stuff, you guys went on a Disney cruise, and you also went to the parks, right? So
We did.
what, I guess, tell us a little bit about the trip and who went and how long you guys went for.
Yeah, so we were gone 10 days. We left on a Wednesday, flew down, went over to Tampa that morning, came back, checked into our home resort for the very, very, very first time. And I know people give the Riviera bad vibes, like, oh, I would never own there, blah, blah, blah. I am just here to say that it's the right fit for us. It's exactly where we need to be. It fits our personalities and our style, and I would want to be nowhere else. Everything about it is perfect for us. So I'm glad we bought there. I'm glad that we can stay there at 11 months or 7 months or whenever we need to, because it was epic. We stayed in a 1-bedroom, which, because now our kids are to the stage, we have a boy and a girl, and they're old enough that they kind of need their own space, right? Like they really, I mean, it's good to have a little separation. So the space was fantastic. Like Lindsay's bed came down out of was one of those Murphy beds out of the wall, and we left it down the entire time and never felt too crowded. So I don't know about Jean and Lonnie, when you guys share a room at Pop, do you guys put a bed back up every morning, or do you leave it down the whole time you're there?
What goes on at Pop kind of stays at pop. So we don't.
These gentlemen don't need more than one bed.
Puking
Right.
sessions.
What do you mean second bed?
I mean, come on now. I mean,
Just be like, there was a bed there?
yeah, that's what that was. I had no idea.
Funny story about that. When I walked in there, when I walked in the room to the pull down bed the first time, I was like, wait a second, dude. There's just one bed. He laid on the bed, stretched out with his, with his hand, hand like this, just laid across the bed. He said, what do you mean? And he patted the bed.
You just changed our rating for the record.
I sent that picture to my wife. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. She doesn't laugh at my joke. She's like, I know there's a pull down bed.
She's seen it before. I had no.
But we usually leave it down.
What kind of trick is this, Lonnie?
Yeah, because we're not in there that much, right? We just go in there at the end of the day, so we just kind of leave it down.
So I find during marathon weekend, we tend to Tim and I don't sleep in the same bed at marathon weekend because we're so tired and we've run all these races and we just want to spread out. So the bed comes down every single morning, but then I pull the table bed back up every single day because then I feel like we need to eat breakfast and we need the space on the table. Anyway, my whole point was when we were at the Riv, we just left the beds open the whole time and there was still plenty of space. We still had our entire dining room area and our kitchen area. We had gone to the grocery and bought a bunch of stuff. So it was pretty awesome. I fell in love. I would say my only thing that I think they could have done better was to make the bathrooms more like cruise line where they had, I don't understand why they have a tub in one. Like how many people sit there and just take a bath all day? I don't know. Maybe people do, but like, I would have preferred that the shower and like, I would have preferred it to be like Poly where there were 2 showers. Like that's better. Poly has a shower with a tub and then a shower. That would have been much better instead of like shower and toilet in one and tub in the other. Anyway. But still pretty epic. We loved it. We fell in love, which is good since we own there. So I'm glad we fell in love with it.
That is good when you buy somewhere DVC and you actually like the resort. It helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first part of your trip, did you guys go on the cruise first, or did you stay at the Riv and go to the parks and everything?
We stayed at the Riv and went to the parks. And our first night, we were going to do nothing but hang out at the Riv. That was the original plan until we had figured out it was that extended evening hours. Which is for deluxe guests. So we had decided to upgrade the kids' tickets to annual passes. So we were like, well, let's just go. So it's I had texted a couple of you asking, can you get into a boarding group? So they offer a 6 p.m. boarding group for whatever boarding group has for extended evening hours at 6 p.m. And I had asked you all like, oh, do you have to be in the park at 6 p.m. or not? Well, I have an answer for everybody. We were at the Riv at the bar, sitting there having a beverage at 6 p.m. And I was able to join the Tron boarding group for extended evening hours. So you do not have to be in the park. You don't have to check into the park for those evening hour times. So that was pretty awesome because the idea of having to like rush to the Magic Kingdom just to check in, just to see if we can get that boarding group seemed exhausting after having flown in that morning and had driven to Tampa and back. And like, we just wanted to be hanging out, checking out the resort, running around, seeing everything, going to the grocery store, unpacking, all that good stuff. So that was great.
So Jodie, when you say you guys went to Tampa and back, did you fly into Tampa or?
We flew into Orlando just because of price difference. And we went to Tampa for a college visit. So just went there and back.
Oh, okay.
Tampa. What school's in Tampa?
Yeah.
Tampa, USF, I think is there.
We went to University of Tampa. Okay. So anyway, so we went up to Magic Kingdom that night at like 8:30. So kind of late. And it was the darkest, that's a new word, darkest, scariest, cloudiest, stormiest experience. It was just that dun, 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 it would have been a great Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween background. Like it was it's just cloudy and scary and all this frightening, terrible stuff. But it wasn't raining or lightning yet, but we knew it was coming. You could absolutely see it coming. So we, as the great Disney fans, guess what? We went to go rope drop that evening. Very first activity or ride that we went to in Magic Kingdom, our very first day. John, you
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because we
Get
would
inside.
stay dry. So
Yes.
we went to Monsters Inc. with the plan of, if it was still raining, to go next door to Buzz Lightyear, which is exactly what we did. So we went to Monsters Inc. Lindsay's joke was on the joke. Tim was Mike Wazowski, One-Eyed Mike. He did not do a very good job of understanding that role, like putting the hand over his eye. He's
Was
very
it the math of how to get to one
don't-
eye from two?
I don't know. He just couldn't quite
No?
understand
Okay.
what his job was. Then we did People Mover, and then our Tron boarding group was called, which was way earlier than we had anticipated. So I'm glad that we were kind of over in Tomorrowland. But because the fireworks were delayed because of the rain and the thunderstorm, I think people left the park. Like when we were coming into the park, people were leaving en masse. So I think a lot of people left. So we got to ride Tron for the very first part that night. And then when we came off of Tron, the fireworks were going off. So we were standing right at the Tron exit watching the fireworks, which was pretty cool. So
That is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, thoughts on Tron?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I really went in with pretty low expectations because everyone's like, oh, it's just such a short ride. You don't get on, you get off. It's not. We waited for the first car. They let us get in the first car. Like we did 2 people and then we waited again and then went on the first one again. It was nighttime. I mean, it was really nighttime. It was like 10 something. I thought it was phenomenal. I've never watched the movie. I have no idea what that reference is. I don't think you need to watch the movie. I thought it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, it's. I think it's so fun too. I mean, I think I don't know. I don't even know if it's 2 minutes long, to be honest. But
I don't care. It was great.
yeah, it's so fun. Okay.
Now, was it raining? Was it raining when you boarded Tron?
No, so we avoided all the rain.
Perfect.
So everybody else drenched, soaking. I mean, the ground was wet and there were big puddles, but our strategy of Monsters Inc., Buzz, People Mover was perfect. Then we had a little snacky snack because we were a little hungry. So we had have you guys ever had the cream cheese pretzels in Tomorrowland?
No.
Okay. They're at whatever that thing right there by Space Mountain and People Mover. What is that?
Oh, that little food thing.
That little food court, yes.
Circular. I forget the name of it. They're cream cheese stuffed pretzels. It's like a little sweet, salty. They are delicious. Delicious. They're so good. You got to try it next time you're there. I'm telling you. Delicious, delicious.
We'll do it.
My kids love pretzels of any type, so that'll go over well.
Yeah, but you got to like that sweet, salty combo.
Yeah.
Not all salt, not all sweet. Really good though. What is that thing called? I can't think of that place anymore. Anyway, then Landon and I did Astro Orbiter because Lindsay decided she hates that ride. We went to Haunted. This is dumb. We went all the way over to Haunted, come all the way over back to Space Mountain. But the line was like 5 minutes. That's a nice thing about those evening hours is you just walk right into everything. And Tim, who is not a big Magic Kingdom fan because it's normally crowded, he's like, you guys, there's no one here. We can get a picture in front of the castle with no other humans. And he was right. There was, I think between the rain and the extra evening hours and it's hot summer sticky, there was no one there. It was awesome. It was great. So
wow.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Finished up with a little shopping.
You're showing your expert status.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I said you're showing your expert status. You planned it. You maximize it. You're like, let's run in here. Let's do it. We can stay dry by doing this. Hey, Jodie for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
I didn't have to worry about little crop top ponchos. Although I did test those before we left, so they were the real ones. We did some Emporium shopping.
You wear a lot of crop tops, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, this time of year, it's summer. It's going to be 95 here in Detroit next week. I'm definitely going crop tops all week.
Oh,
we want that as the front page of the Ducks podcast. Can you please make that our cover?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And can you get a medium? Just
yeah.
off.
No.
Just for our lady fans would love that.
No, they would. They would, yeah. The medium crop top on me. That's really highlights the arms there, I guess. I don't know.
Anyway,
we need to strike that image from everyone.
We finished that night. We did some Emporium shopping because that's when it was 30% AP discount.
For crop tops?
For crop tops.
Okay.
Only for crop top. For Tim. We got Tim crop tops.
Oh, wonderful. I can't wait till me and Tim wear them together.
Yes. Because it was the 30% discount. And I told my children they were only allowed to shop that day and the next day and then no more shopping because 30%. I'm a sale person. So we were on the bus by 12:15 and back to the resort by 12:30, and we were exhausted, went to bed. So
Nice.
it was a good first start of a
So,
trip. Oh, and by
yeah.
the way, we ate at Bar Riva that night, the pool bar at the Riv.
Oh,
Food is unbelievable. So good. The arancinis are phenomenal. The salads were great. Did you hear that, Jean? Salads were great.
Such
I
a
believe
waste. Such a waste.
The chicken or the Italian sandwich was really, everything is so good there. Like really, really good. Tim spilled his entire margarita all over the table. They brought him a brand new one without any, issue. I mean,
Hmm.
good service, good
Okay.
food. The chef was out talking to the table, like all the tape people. I mean, it was highly recommended. They don't offer any discount because it's technically a lounge, and the lounges don't offer discounts. But I would eat there again without any doubt.
do they have tables in there? I'm trying to picture it. I know
They do.
where it is. I can't remember.
They do. They have some like taller bar top tables and then regular normal tables. So
Oh wow.
And that's a good tip.
Awesome.
Drink half your margarita, spill it, and then get another full one.
Sure.
Thanks,
On the
Tim, for
house.
really doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Took
That's
one for the
toast.
team on that one. Thanks, Tim.
Anyway.
Oh, boy. Okay, so that's awesome. So that's day one. How many days are you staying at Disney?
We were at the Riviera 5 nights. So we did all
Oh.
4 parks and then set sail on Monday and sailed for 4 nights. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
I
So
promise you I'm not going to give you a day by day like
Yeah,
every ride. But I just think that
No.
extra evening hours is such a unique experience. I know one time last year we purposely stayed. We left the resort that we were at, a moderate resort, and checked into a deluxe resort to try to take advantage of that extra evening hour opportunity. Didn't work out for us as great as it did this year. I mean, I think maybe the lower crowds and the rain was just like the, no pun intended, but perfect storm. And it really worked out in our favor, to the point that when we went back to Magic Kingdom the next time, we felt like we didn't even have to go into Tomorrowland unless we really wanted to, because we had kind of done everything over there. So
That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, like in terms of you love the Riviera. When you were going to the parks, did you use the Skyliner a lot? Was that like a big?
we did. We used a
consideration?
Skyliner for Hollywood Studios and Epcot, which we made this fun game. So listeners, this is fun. So if you're on the Skyliner, we played Skyliner karaoke. So every Skyliner that came towards us, whatever theme it was, let's pretend it was like Pirates of the Caribbean, right? So then we'd all sing pirate, yo ho, pirates life for me. And then the next one that would come by, let's pretend it was Moana, and we'd sing you're welcome or whatever. And then the next one would come by, whatever that was. And so someone would have to think of the song to go with that Skyliner. And it was funny when they would repeat. We're like, oh no, what's another song? Like someone had to think of it real quick, and we'd sing it out. And it was totally silly and totally ridiculous, but Skyliner karaoke was really it was dumb, but made us laugh every time.
I love
That
it. That's
sounds
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything to just add a little extra goofiness. I mean, that's us.
Will you guys adopt me? I want to be part of that.
Luckily, Lindsay has a really, really good voice, so she would start us off and carry the tune for the most part. The rest of us would just,
Okay.
hum along, or Tim would roll
But
it
it's
out.
great because you're not only saying it, somebody's got to actually think of a song for the movie
Mhm.
or whatever the theme
Yeah.
is. Yeah, so that's good.
Man, and I
Yeah,
can't
we had a
believe
lot
your
of
kids actually
dun,
sing.
dun, 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 dun. That was,
How about- I was just thinking, what happened when the R2's one flies by? There you go.
Yeah.
Man,
the same
That's
Star
awesome,
Wars. Or I do a little pew pew pew, So
if I tried to
It's
do that,
fun,
my
though.
daughter
It
would
just made
not have it. Yeah. One of
You
my
can sing
kids
that, Bill.
Yeah.
Man, we
hates that
can't do
kind of
this.
stuff.
Can we?
No,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, John.
Gene.
I was just gonna say, y'all could sing. Have you ever heard the Bill Murray Star Wars lounge singer song he did on Saturday Night Live? Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah. So okay. So like what else, Jody? What are some other highlights, I guess,
Okay,
of the
so
parks portion?
Thursday we woke up really early, so late night Wednesday night, early wake up Thursday morning. But I knew Thursday was kind of going to be a half day. Went to Animal Kingdom, rope dropped, Flight of Passage. Took us like 25 minutes to get through that, which was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
left Pandora, went straight to Expedition Everest. Landon got his revenge of the Yeti. We rode it 4 times. He was so happy. Life was grand. Everybody was in a good mood. The teenager decided she would not ride single rider because she wouldn't sit next to a stranger because that's just weird. So the rest of us rode single rider and had a great time, but the teenager decided that was just, not a good thing to do. So she sat outside and twiddled her thumbs while the rest of us kept riding Everest. We rode Dinosaur and we got a ride evacuation.
Oh, that's fun.
On
You get to see
Dinosaur?
the
On
inner
Dinosaur.
workings of
You
it.
get to see the T-Rexes.
So literally the last scene, right when he goes, "We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it." That's when our ride broke down. It was epic.
That's perfect.
Oh, it was so funny. So, but the funny thing was like right where we were kind of in this dead zone, and they were saying all the announcements of like, don't leave your car and stay calm, but we couldn't hear any of them. So we are just kind of like, and my kids were just so excited. They have wanted an on-ride evacuation since the beginning of time. They watch all the, I don't know, whatever.
The YouTube videos.
Even the teenager was happy. She was like, yeah.
Oh, they're like, we'll sit in this car for half an hour if it means we get an on-ride evacuation. They were thrilled about this. And Landon has this little orange bird, and they were doing photo shoots with orange bird on the, while we're stuck in the car, whatever. They were thrilled by this. This was like their highlight of the day, was getting stuck on Dinosaur. And then we got a anytime pass for, we didn't buy Genie Plus that day, but we got an anytime pass to use on any ride. So that was kind of nice. We went to afterwards, Lonnie, we went to go see Festival of the Lion King, which this is crazy. Landon had no memory of. It's been so long since we've gone because of COVID and everything. He actually didn't remember it. Once we got in there, he kind of remembered a little bit of the show, but he doesn't remember going ever, which I know he has, but he had no memory of it. And so that was awesome because it was cool. We went to the 12 o'clock show right at noon when it was blazing hot. Mm-hmm. Great thing to get out of the sun. So that was awesome. Of course, we got our cheeseburger pods. We did all that good stuff. And then we did Everest one more time. And then we went back to the resort. We're going to do Cali River Rapids because it was so hot, but it was a 50-minute wait. And we're like,
Well, what did you use your pass on, your anytime fast pass?
We used it for Lion King. We couldn't judge the line to see. We weren't sure if we were going to get into the 12 o'clock show or not. And it was so hot. We just really wanted to get into the 12 o'clock show. And I knew if the line was so long, we didn't get in, we would have just bailed on it. And I really wanted Landon to see it. And quite frankly, I really want to get out of the sun. So, it was, whatever. It was great. As it turns out, we probably wouldn't have needed to use it for that, but it was great. It was fine. So
that's all right. Look, the Tumble Monkeys came back, right? So
the Tumble Monkeys were there. It was so fun.
Gene's favorite part. He loves the Tumble Monkeys.
Love the Tumble Monkeys.
He cried when they went away, by the way. Just want you guys to know that. But it was a manly cry.
I kind of went into a dark place for a little while.
But now you're back, and so are the Tumble Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And you had Centuli Cantina, which is awesome too, right?
Yeah. Landon was happy with his cheeseburger pod. We were all happy. Went back to the resort and swam. I don't know what it is about that slide, but I was blazing fast down that slide to the point that the lifeguard said to me, I have never seen anyone go down that slide as fast as you go down that slide. And I have no idea why. Like, I was like, shoom, down that slide. I loved that slide. And I'm not, team pool slide. I'm telling you, that pool slide and I are best friends. Like, I was zooming down that slide. I had so much fun. I was like kid in a candy store. Had a blast.
I mean, because you're compact, so you're slide ready. Right?
I don't know.
If me and John got in that slide, we'd probably be like real slow.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. We compared it then to like other slides we've been on, and then we were at the Poly after our cruise, and I'm like, I was slow as molasses on that slide. So I don't know. Maybe it's the new build of the slide. Who knows? But
they switched suppliers for the resin. Yeah, and now it's got its own lubricant in it, so you just fly down that thing.
They have gelato on the pool deck. So Landon was the king of, he would go and get his gelato, eat it at the pool. I mean, life was grand.
Cool.
We got cleaned up, and then we went to Topolino's for dinner. And the last time we went to Topolino's for dinner was just Tim and I after our first Dopey. And I thought it was good, but it didn't blow me away. And this is just the story of having a good server and how that can make such a huge impact on your meal. We had an absolutely phenomenal server who was just on point. Scott's recommended the fish dish to me multiple times, and because of races, I typically eat a lot of fish during race week. So by the time that came up on race weekend, I didn't want any more seafood. I was like, ugh, all I've been doing is eating seafood. I don't want it. I want a steak. So this time we got the fish dish. Probably the best dish I have ever had of anything on property ever.
Really? So that was I was going to ask you what your favorite meal was. It sounds like this
The
fish dish from
sole, it's got a terrible name and a terrible description.
Sustainable fish? Was that what it was? It was
No,
sustainable?
it's sole.
I think their name is sustainable.
I think they call it like full, I don't know, something sole. I don't know. It's not, it needs a better name. This thing was unbelievably fantastic. I would go back there just for that. Every single time. It was so good. Desserts were good. The pasta was good. The kids loved their fillets. Like everything was great.
Fresh out of living with the land.
It was
Sustainable fish.
Yeah, it was so good. I don't know how they prepared it, but it was unbelievable.
Nice.
If you like seafood, go there.
Well, I'm glad you, especially knowing how much you guys love food, I'm glad you guys had such an awesome experience there.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about the parks portion of this trip that you
Real quick? So Friday we went to
want to talk
Hollywood
about before we move
Studios.
into the cruise line?
Friday, Hollywood Studios. Spent a lot of time at Galaxy's Edge. There were awesome character experiences in Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios in general. Mandalorian was there. Grogu was there. Kylo Ren, tons of stormtroopers, like Galaxy's Edge, which was just packed with characters walking around. Then I call it the dead end of Hollywood Studios. I don't know what the Pixar place or whatever they call it, that little alleyway.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they had Enda Mode, Frozone, Mr. Incredible, Sully, like tons of characters out there. And their lines were really short, like 3 to 4 people. So if you like characters, that's a fun place to go meet them without really long lines. That was really surprising to me and super fun. We went back for a mid-afternoon break, went to Sci-Fi because we had the Fantasmic package, went to Sci-Fi, and then did Fantasmic that night. And that was also really, really awesome. It was hot, it was blazing hot that night, but having that dining package. So if you don't know, there's a couple of restaurants at Hollywood Studios. You can book as a Fantasmic dining package, and it costs a little bit more, but it includes either an appetizer or a dessert and a drink, including a adult beverage and your main course. So that's kind of a good bang for your buck to have a reserved space, so you don't have to line up early for Fantasmic, because they're only doing Fantasmic right now one time a night. So it was just nice to know, like, we had a spot, we had a seat, we were guaranteed that viewing space. So we had to eat anyway. So that was Friday. Any questions about Hollywood Studios? I'm trying to get through it fast.
No, sounds like you guys got a lot done.
We did Genie Plus that day. It worked out great. We literally wrote everything and had no problems. Saturday, Magic Kingdom, early start. Got there at 8:20. Early park entry at 8:30. Rope drop, 7 Doors Mine Train. Hung out for a while. Did some snacks and pictures. We did a paid Tron Lightning Lane because somehow that morning my brain stopped and I forgot to get the Lightning Lane for the 7 a.m. I have no idea. I think I was just tired. But it all worked out because we were able to get the 1 o'clock drop for Lightning Lane. So it all kind of worked out anyway. And went back again to the resort, swam, hung out, relaxed, went back that evening, and did the dessert party that night, which we did the pre-fireworks dessert party. So you have the dessert and beverages first, and then your hub grass spot for the fireworks, which I'm glad we did, because then afterwards we went and rode a couple of rides, like with no lines whatsoever. So that was really fun. So
That's awesome. And how did you like the dessert party? Have you guys done the dessert party for this before or no?
Yeah, so I did the dessert party with the Lizards 2022 marathon, which was awesome. And then we did it once before with our family. I liked it, but it was really hot. Like there was no airflow in there. There were no fans or airflow, and I just it was so. We did the one where you get your dessert and then you go out to the hub grass, not the one where you sit there at Tomorrowland Terrace and just sit
Oh.
there for the whole time. I wish they had a couple more savory items because I just kind of ate a lot of cheese and crackers and like a dessert. I just can't eat that many desserts, but it's nice and it's you're really paying for the viewing area. So
Yeah.
Nice
The
piece of
viewing area
grass.
and
yeah, hub grass.
it's the perfect spot. It's amazing.
It is.
Mhm.
So then Sunday was our last day in the parks. Went over to Epcot first thing. Walked right into the park. They let us in super early. I think they weren't supposed to let us in until 8:30, but they let us in at like 8:07. So we went into Remy and did Remy with about we were off of Remy by 8:15, and
You
the
did
park
right.
got, it
That's
did not
awesome.
break. Did not break. Gene, it didn't break on either Rise or Remy. We only broke on Dinosaur.
I don't know that. I mean, you are trustworthy, but it's very hard for me to believe.
That's the best thing about staying at the Riff because it drops you off right in the back, so you can just go straight to Ratatouille,
Yeah,
or
I was
go to the left and get you some fish and chips. But it may be early for that. So
yeah,
go to the
8:07 a.m. Yeah, so I was surprised they let us in because it was resort guests weren't supposed to be allowed in until 8:30, and they let us in at 8:07. So that was crazy early. And we just, like I
That
said,
is
we walked
crazy.
right onto Remy, walked right off of Remy. We had breakfast at what's Jeff's favorite place?
Garden Grill.
Garden Grill. That was good. Breaking news for everyone. It's no longer the sticky cinnamon bun at breakfast. It's now more like a monkey bread type of.
Oh
Yeah, it
Oh, that
was.
sounds so good.
It
You guys
was.
don't like that?
It was
no,
I like
fine.
Bread
monkey
is like
bread,
the
but
best
I like
thing
the I like
ever.
the no.
The other thing was much better. I'm
Mhm.
with you, Lonnie, Team Lonnie. We left, went right on to Soarin', finished Soarin', went to Living with the Land, went to Guardians for the first time, did a photo shoot. I made Landon try Beverly because I'm a good parent.
Oh,
I
Mom of
like the
Year.
video of that. That was pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Mom of the Year on that one. He'll learn a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't trust your parents.
don't
Yeah.
do secrets. He's really into pin trading, so we'd always have to stop and do pin trading somewhere. He loves to pin trade, so he always had his thing of pins. It was trading all over the place. Got some maple popcorn, went back, took the Skyliner back, took a nap, relaxed, did a little pool time. That day, Lana met Cheryl from Switzerland, one of the lizards. Lana met her son, Alec, who's about Lana's same age. We hung out at the pool with them for a little while because they were going on the cruise with us. So we wanted the boys to get a chance to meet. So we hung out in the pool with them for a little bit. And then they left, we left, got cleaned up, went back to Guardians again because, got to do it twice. We did Test Track. I don't remember what else we did. And then we ate around the world. We just spent the rest of the evening,
Yeah.
The food booths, right? Because they have one of the festivals going on right now.
Yeah, it was still the same
Flower
one
and
that
Garden.
you and Lonnie did.
Yeah.
It's still Flower and Garden.
Yeah.
So I went to La Cava for the first time. Every time I've gone to Mexico, the line has been 190 people long. There was no line, no wait. So we walked right into La Cava. So, I mean, it was, I think I told you all, like, people were saying the crowds weren't bad. When we were there, the crowds were incredibly manageable. I mean, they were very light. Normally Fantasyland is Tim's least favorite place on earth. You're getting hit by strollers and you're compact and people are screaming and there's kids and balloons and everything.
I hate when there's kids at Disney.
I know.
It's
Just
terrible.
saying. There's lots of
Water too wet,
emotion
sand
in
too sandy.
Fantasyland in particular,
It's too
and I'm
sandy.
telling you, you could stretch your arms out in Fantasyland and not touch another person. So,
Savor that moment. savor
was-
it
Yeah.
because
it was
you know how
nice.
it is.
It's not going to be like that for forever. So,
No.
yeah.
No.
So watched, what is it? Epcot Forever? Is that
Mhm.
which was fine. Went back on the Skyliner and we're back in no time. So
Nice.
Just a comment about, just to go back to John's comment about too many kids at Disneyland and all that. For the happiest place on earth, there are often a lot of screaming, unhappy kids. I'm just saying. So anyway, back to your trip report.
But it's the most magical place on earth.
That's what I meant. Magical, whatever. Magical, happy, whatever.
it's
You're gonna have to go
really,
to West Coast to get the happiest.
Mhm.
Right. I know.
it's,
Do you, Gene? Do you?
No.
people who push their
I know the
kids too
difference.
hard and they it's a lot of
Yeah.
stimulation and a lot of I need a break. I'm sure my kids need a break too. Like that's something we've learned over the years. Like we desperately need a mid-afternoon break. We're all much nicer humans with that break. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you did it right. You made time to go back to your resort, enjoy your resort, get some rest, and then go back. Because usually people that go there early and kind of power through it around 6 o'clock, they're kind of filling it out and they're leaving. So it gives you even more space when you go back. Now I heard you say popcorn one time. Please tell me you ate more than just one pail of popcorn.
yes, Landon probably had, let's see, how much are the refills? Like $3 or something for the
Mhm.
refills. I'm gonna guess he had 15 refills in the
Oh,
course of
nice.
the
I'm
whole
so
night.
proud of him. That and Beverly, he's a champ.
But
Yeah.
did he get the one from Canada, the really good one, the
Maple.
maple?
That's the only
Yeah.
one that I wanted. So yeah, that we definitely
Nice.
got that.
Wonderful.
Very good.
All right. So now you're going into onto the cruise. So
Now it's Monday morning.
how did you get to the port?
So that's the other thing I should explain. When we flew in the first day, we rented a car for one day. So we got a car, we drove to Tampa, and then we dropped it off at the Disney Car Care Center, which I highly recommend. It's right by Magic Kingdom. They'll take you back to any Walt Disney World resort or park. So if you're going to a park, they'll take you directly to a park. They're open till I think 7 in the evening. They're great. They drop you right off. No problem whatsoever. So we had the car for a day, dropped it off. Then when we went down to the port, we hired a driver. So I priced it all out between Disney Cruise Line, getting another car, getting a driver, and the driver with all of our stuff, because we had a lot of stuff, made the most sense. And, air conditioned, just us, nice, big, huge SUV. He's awesome. We've used him plenty of times. If anyone wants his name, I'm happy to pass it along. But he's phenomenal. So he drove us to the port, got to the port. We're going to check in. At check-in, we see Marlessa and Katie. We see Brooke and her daughter, Kayla. Like everybody, it starts to get exciting because we're seeing all of our friends and getting excited for the cruise and getting ready to check in. So
Okay, so what boarding group did you have? Let's not rush through this. So what boarding group did you have for the?
We had boarding group 7, and we were to be
Mm.
called at 11:15. And so also, if you've never cruised Disney Cruise Line, adults are allowed to carry on, and you have to carry it on either 2 bottles of wine or 1 6-pack of beer. Sorry, John, no bourbon. No,
Unless you uncork the wine, put the bourbon in, and then recork it.
I'm not going to say that I've even heard that. So I just know 2 bottles of wine or 1 6-pack of beer. So we always bring on 2 bottles of champagne because we like to have that either for mimosas or pre-dinner drinks. And then Tim brought a 6-pack of beer. So it's each. So we were 2 bottles of champagne and 1 6-pack beer. So that's the only bad thing. Like you're lugging that around with you. Just keep that in mind.
What did Landon bring? Did he bring a?
Landon brought his
6-pack?
appetite. He brought
that was it. So and also, yes, you can bring that, but you can't bring open food, right? So I know I've seen people try to get Gideon's on, and they're like, no. So that's a big one. That's what $6-7 a cookie.
Yeah.
Can't bring that open.
Yeah, we quickly ate the remains of our peanut butter M&M cookie from Main Street Confectionery. We were out in front of the port gobbling that up real quick. Yeah, just what you need to do before you go on a cruise and have all the food included. But yeah. So we get in there, and they were calling boarding groups like that. So it started off with platinum, and then it was like 1, 2 minutes later, 2 minutes later, 3, 2 minutes later, 4. Like they were going through boarding groups really, really, really fast. So, gosh, I don't remember what time we actually got on the ship, but it was really quick. So the Disney Wish, I have been on 3 of the other ships, 1 of the smaller original ones, 2 of the Dream, or I've been on Wish or Fantasy and Dream. This is my very first time on the Wish. I will say, if you've never been on a Disney cruise, you probably would absolutely, completely, truly, 100% fall in love with the Wish because you have nothing else to compare it with.
Is that the new one?
It's the new one. It's
Okay.
gorgeous. It's the clean. The lines are beautiful. There are so many things that are stunning about it. But those of us who have cruised before spend a lot of time saying, but on the other ship, that's there. But on the other ship, this is that. But on the other ship, this is. So I think if you went in with a never being on another Disney cruise line ship, you would have nothing else to be like, well, that's not where it should be. Or on the other cruise line, it's like this. Because it is gorgeous. It's a beautiful ship. There are some things that are weird. There are a lot of dead ends. For example, to get to Cove Cafe, up the adult area, you go around deck 13, you literally walk all the way around aft over to the side and you dead end. There's nowhere else to go. So you get to the Cove, which is the coffee shop. You have to trace back to the way you came to get out of there. And that's a revenue making the Cove Cafe.
Yeah.
If you want fancy coffee, it's an upcharge. So that's a revenue stream for them. So to put that in a dead end area that you can't get to it except for a one way in and one way out is really dumb. But we had a lovely stateroom. We were on deck 8, 85, 82. We had a Sleeping Beauty themed room. Thank God it wasn't frozen, or I think Lana would have jumped off the ship. 2 beautiful pieces of artwork. We were midship. Again, one of the weird things, there's no elevators midship like there are on Dream Fantasy, Magic, and Wonder. So that was a little weird.
Oh yeah, that is weird.
It's so strange. Plenty of place to put our luggage underneath, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of storage space for our luggage or for clothes, like not drawers per se, where I've always felt like we've unpacked and I didn't feel like we could like unpack. But it was fine. Typical. So the beds, one comes out of the ceiling for the kids, and then the couch turns into a bed at night. So during the daytime, the room stewards put those away. So you've got your couch and nothing hanging on the ceiling. And then in the evening, they pull those all back down. So you have plenty of space. We had a veranda, which is lovely. You get to spend time outside. The new showers are great, glass door, wonderful.
So on the veranda, like, is there any safety measures they have in place? Because that's my big concern is I have little kids.
So John, Landon's a sleepwalker. So you can imagine our fear with him being on a cruise ship sleepwalking, right? So opening that door, and this is any Disney cruise line ship that in our experience, we've only sailed on verandas. Opening that door is like, you have to be strong and a smart human combined. So there's a lock at the bottom, there's a lock at the top, and it's like a combo to get it open. And then there's not plexiglass, but clear glass that you can't climb up it or anything. It's just looking over. There's a chair and a little tiny table out there, but I wouldn't let my littles hang out there by themselves without an adult. But I mean, we've never had a problem.
Okay. But you said you have to be strong and an intelligent person. So I would just be locked in the room.
There were a couple times that I'm like, I can't get this darn door open. Like, let me out on the veranda. I mean, you had to move one thing and the other way, and then the top part has to be unlocked. Like it's definitely, or if you had something in your hand, you have to set it down and do the whole combo. So it is very safe.
I'd rather it be difficult than extremely easy. Yikes. Okay. Okay. So your thoughts on the Wish then? It's different than the other ones, but I mean, do you like the ship itself, or would you go back on it or no?
I don't love 3 and 4 night cruises in general. I think they're way too fast. When you start to figure things out, it's time to get off. And right now the Wish is only sailing 3 nights and 4 nights. So we did a 4 night, and there were parts that I didn't even get a chance to discover because there's so many cool things to do at all times that you just can't do it all. I think the new atrium is beautiful and airy and lovely. And but there are parts of it that were not for me. So, for example, on the other ships, every day, if you don't want to go to the buffet, you can go to a sit down restaurant, and they, in the past at least, they had rotated the different restaurants. This was just one of the restaurants you could go to.
Oh,
And so that was the same menu. And the hours were really short. Like breakfast was closed at 9:30. Well, one time, like we came strolling down at 9:33 and they were closed. And we're like, what? Like 9:33 a.m. Like I want breakfast.
mm.
So, the other thing is, and maybe this is summertime, but we were also hot the whole time we were on the ship. Like we could never cool down. Like normally on Disney Cruise Line, I've got my sweater with me every place I go because it's cold and you're just kind of chilly. I never put my sweater on once. It was just warm the whole. There was no place that I was cold. So, but it was beautiful. Like if you do go on the Wish, the atrium every single night at midnight, if you look up at the ceiling, they do this really cool. It's called the Kiss Goodnight, and so at midnight they do this starry, lovely event. It's gorgeous and really neat. It doesn't last long, but it's. We were there one time at 2 a.m. on the floor. It was well past the Kiss Goodnight, but it was fun. We were having a good time. We also,
You move past kissing after
yeah,
12,
it was well past
I
kissing.
guess.
I will also say a good tip is to check. So they have, just like my Disney Experience app, they have something called Disney Cruise Line app. It's called the Navigator. Check that when you get on board, because activities that you were trying to book ahead of time that may have been sold out are then open, and you can book them right then when you're on the ship, because you go to this Wi-Fi mode or airplane mode, and they're there. So that was also a good tip to do that right away. So we did go to Hyperspace Lounge, Lonnie and Jean, right away. That was because before a certain hour, your kids are allowed in there. And so we wanted them to see the Star Wars barred space. It was super cool. Like I don't know everything about Star Wars, obviously, but I think those of you who are super Star Wars fans probably would have spent the entire cruise. It's a very small space.
So me and Kevin.
You and Kevin would have been there the whole time. I took pictures of the menus and everything to send to you guys. They made these drinks with these like bubbles on them. These like, I don't know. Everything was really, really cool about it.
Okay. So how's the wait to get in there? Because I mean, it's a small space. I'm assuming, people like Kevin and Jean who love Star Wars. Apparently, anybody else who can't name every character is not a Star Wars fan. So, but do you have to wait to get in there, or it's how was it?
We went first day, first thing. We were, like I said, we were probably on the ship by noon. We had already had lunch, and then we went straight down to hyperspace. And there are lots of families, but we sat right at the bar. We had no problem getting. I think we all had a seat. We all had 4 chairs. So, but that I would say would be a tip. Go first thing. I know later in the cruise there was a wait and you had to come back to get in, but I never tried to get back in just because I had experienced it and I had so many other things I wanted to see. So I didn't attempt to get back in.
Okay, so let's dig into your days. So that's day 1, Hyperspace Mountain. Everything's cool. Day 2, right? So it was day 2 a sea day.
Also day 1 we had dinner just because I have to go from you guys. We went from Star Wars to Marvel. So it was a Marvel themed dinner that night. It was World of Marvel. It was Ant-Man and Wasp, a whole show that was hilarious. I know nothing about those characters. You guys know I know nothing about MCU. I thought it was great. I thought it was super fun. Because we were on the podcast cruise, we were sitting with other people so normally on Disney Cruise Line, it's just our family. We were with Marlessa and Katie and Stacy and Jared were at our table, which was super fun, like to talk to other people. What did you do all day? What did you do all day? So we had a blast. Our servers were absolutely phenomenal. They stay with you every night, but that Spider-Man came around the tables, which was fun. I every couple of minutes there'd be a new character and something about that person on the screen. Again, I don't know enough about MCU to be able to it is MCU, right? Not
Yeah.
yeah. I
I
feel
was
like
about to ask you what
Muck.
Spider-Man, which one came, but we're not gonna ask those kind of
oh,
questions.
he had Fred and spiders on it.
Jeff would.
Yeah. Jeff would dig into it. So exactly, was it Miles Morales? Was it Peter Parker? What Spider-Man was? Yeah, we're not gonna go there. So
Yeah.
we're gonna just say it was a generic Spider-Man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Or was it Peter Porker?
Oh, well,
Wait,
he's my
Ham?
favorite Spider-Man.
Spider Ham?
He's my favorite one.
you guys have lost me. The food was okay that night, not my favorite, but I think the whole experience was really, really cool. And I think also, the first night, you're just kind of trying to get in the whole flow of everything. So it was a little crazy anyway, but fantastic servers. They played jokes with us every night. They were super fun. After that evening, we went to the Disney Sees the Adventure show. So everyone talks about the Broadway shows. This one I appreciated because I felt like it was gender neutral. A lot of their shows, I think, are princess themed or princess heavy. This had Goofy and Minnie as the main characters. They had Hercules was a big part of the show. So I didn't feel like it was all like princess, ooh la la, tiara. Like I felt like it was very like anybody could watch it and enjoy it. So I really appreciated that about the show. I thought it was cute. So I liked the show. There was a ice cream social we went to with the whole podcast cruise. And then after the ice cream social, the adults went to Match Your Mate. That's hilarious. So
what kind of is this? Is this for just the people who have the upside down pineapple magnet on their door get invited?
No. So
It's not that kind of cruise.
18 and older.
Well, what was the name of the place you said?
It was
Find Your Match?
Match Your Mate. So
Match Your Mate.
your navigator, your app will tell you about the things that are adult only, 18 and up. And this is, they do adult only game shows, comedy things throughout the cruise that the kids can't go to. And this is one of those. It's still pretty G-rated, maybe PG-13 at the worst, but it's pretty funny. So we went there and then just cracking up laughing, having a great time. And then a bunch of us, Scott and Lizzie and Jared and Stacy, we all went to a lounge afterwards, and Landon went to go see a movie. He went to go see Indiana Jones. That's the other cool about Disney Cruise Line. All the movies that are in the theater right now play on the cruise line because Disney owns them. So they can do that. They're the only place that can show movie theaters on the cruise. I never go to see the movies on the cruise unless it's like a rainy, stormy day. But Landon and Alec, Cheryl's son, went to go see Indiana Jones at 10:45. So we were hanging, we had just left the bar and we were hanging out being pretty silly. And it was 1:45 in the morning. And here comes my 12-year-old. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "We just finished Indiana Jones. We're going to Alex's room to get room service." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're going to bed." He's like, "Well, you're up right now." I'm like, "Well, you're up right now." So we were all
we got a little stalemate here.
Like, it's time for all of us to go to bed. So it was super fun. We just had a lot of good time. The servers are fantastic. Everybody, everyone's just it's a safe environment. Like allowing my 12-year-old to go to a movie by himself and feel completely comfortable with that because the app allows you to text internally. So they have their own system that you could say like, "Well, I'm going here to do this," or "I'm going over there," or "Where, I'm going to go swim," or "I'm going to grab an ice cream." Like, so you feel pretty, and he's at the age where I said I didn't have to sign him in or out of things. So it allowed him that freedom. And then obviously the teenager kind of did whatever she wanted. So she was off to it. She was being a teenager. So I know this is going long. I'll try to hurry up. Second day was 4th of July. It was Nassau. We did not get off the ship. There were 6 other ships at port that day. I think it would have been crazy. I was quite frankly a little tired from staying up the night before because I don't normally do that. So there was a group photo. The navigator has all the fun activities in them. Kids went to trivia, and Tim and I went to they had a walking tour of the Wish, which was really fantastic. It's free, which I love. They say it's 18 and older, but really anybody who would be interested in it could probably go. I think just not littles. You guys, this ship, every floor chandelier has a different Cinderella theme on it. Like one is a spindle with thread, one is a pumpkin, one is a coach. Like you wouldn't notice that just by walking out. The carpet on the floor has 7 hidden images in that. The Keg and Compass bar has a map on the ceiling, and all the Disney properties are located on the ceiling, like Disneyland Tokyo. And I mean, the attention to detail that you walking around the ship wouldn't ever know until someone pointed them out to you is really, really cool. So I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we did the tour. It was, like the front is green because it's forest, and the back is blue because it's enchanted, and just little things you never would have known. Nightingale was like off of Cinderella, and the chandelier had the actual musical notes of Swing Sweet Nightingale in the chandelier. Like,
That's
who would
really
ever
cool.
look up that and say, "Oh yeah, there's the notes to Sing Sweet Nightingale on the chandelier"? Like you wouldn't notice that. So, just so many cool stuff that, anyway, there's a DVC event. We went to that. We met Captain Mickey. There was an obstacle course. They have this really cool area that's indoor basketball and obstacle course. That night was we had dinner at Arendelle, which was the Frozen thing, which means Landon spent the whole dinner like this because he despises Frozen. So it was pretty funny to torture him watching the whole Frozen thing happening because he was less than thrilled. Food was better that night. I thought better than the night before. Still not like, wow, it was good. The show that night was Little Mermaid, which was cute, but again, princessy again. And then they had 4th of July fireworks because it was 4th of July that day. Okay. So we actually got 2 fireworks, which was awesome.
Wait, did you guys do any that night? Tastings or anything since you didn't get off the boat?
That day we did not. We did not have a tasting that day. We were just kind of running around doing all the other stuff. I'm sorry, John, what?
Wait, so there was 2 fireworks that day, the regular fireworks for the night?
There were 2 fireworks on our cruise. So we had 4th of July fireworks, and then we had Pirate Night fireworks. So
so they don't do them every night like they do in the parks?
No, they only do pirate fireworks only on Caribbean cruises.
Okay.
Day 3 was Castaway, Lonnie's favorite day. We got up and we ran the Castaway 5K. Oh, I saw Greg from Rise and Run podcast. He was on our cruise, so got to see him. We took a picture before the 5K. I cheered him on at the end of the 5K. I was the photopass photographer. Took some pictures for him, so that was fun to see the Rise and Run guys, him. So we ran the 5K, changed in the bathroom, got off, and went directly in the water. It was just so blasted off. The 5K is nice though because they have water stations. You can dump water. I think I put more water on my head and on my face than I did actually drinking it. Floated in the water for a bit. Went to lunch at Cookies too. Got plenty of ice cream. My favorite thing is to take the chocolate chip cookies and the ice cream and make my own ice cream cookie sandwich. So that's delicious and yummy. Yeah, some cookies and ice cream is good. And it's all you can eat ice cream all the time, even on the island. So that's epic. Yeah.
On the whole ship? Like the whole cruise?
The whole cruise is all you can eat soft serve ice cream all the time.
The cost is starting to kind of make more sense.
And I don't drink soda, but for soda drinkers, soda's included. And I guess that's a big deal for people who drink soda. We don't drink soda. So, but I guess on other cruise lines, they charge you for soda. So I guess that's a big deal to people. I don't know. We floated in the water with Scott and his family for a long time. That was a lot of fun. Then they pulled us all out because there was a storm coming through. So we had to take shelter, which is the second time I've been at Castaway that's happened. But that was the same time as we did a basketball competition, a free throw competition. So we went and did that and hung out under the shelter there. They let us back in the water. So that was great. So Landon and I snorkeled, well, sort of snorkeled with the bad face mask on one and the regular on the other, saw all the hidden stuff, which is really, really cool. Like, and it's cool to be out in the water because someone would say like, hey, did you find Prince Eric? No, where's Prince Eric? He's that way. Go, to that next whatever and heads that direction. Or someone would be like, wait, have you found Mickey yet? No, wait, where's Mickey? And like everybody's kind of helping each other out and you're out there snorkeling. And it is, I swim at 2000 every Friday. So for me, it's not a big deal, but I think, you definitely want to be comfortable in the water before you go out there trying to snorkel. You have fins and everything, but, you want to be somewhat comfortable going out that far because it is the things that are hidden are kind of farther out. So we went back to the ship about 2, got cleaned up. We had a wine tasting at 3:30 that we had to get to. So there's our first tasting finally, Lonnie.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Yeah. It was in Nightingale's in that beautiful bar area. So it was lovely. And then that night was Pirate Night. And this is a big, huge change. So I don't know if this is just for the Wish or if this is all the things. But Lonnie, what have they always given you on Pirate Night before?
A bandana. A pirate bandana.
No more.
What? No more.
They don't give it to you. You can buy one. They don't give it to you. So I didn't pack them because I was like, well, why would I pack them? Because they give us them.
I was giving to you.
Lindsay had packed them because she had this whole outfit that she wanted to put together. So she had some for herself, but the rest of us didn't. So our new friend, Michael, and his wife, Michelle, he had some patches and some hats. And so we were putting that stuff on. And Pirate Night's just a lot of fun. The pirate show on this ship was awesome. It was like a rock concert. I'm not kidding you. Like, I think the adults enjoyed it a lot more than the kids because they were like, I don't know, keep on rocking in the free world and stuff like that. Like they were jamming out and it was a real band, like with real people singing and real drums and real guitars. And it was super fun. And then the fireworks that went out, the band actually played live for the fireworks, which I thought was super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did they play the Pirates theme?
They did. They did. Okay. And also, Lonnie, this is weird. It was the same menu as all the other Pirate Night ships on the other ships. Same menu at dinner, which I thought was a little strange, but whatever. I mean, the party was really super fun. Like we were all up on deck 12 or 13 jamming out. Like everybody's just in a really good mood. And, you're all hot and sticky and sweating and dancing in the Pirate Night firework. And then we all went to Silent DJ. And that was a family event, not just an 18 and up event. And that is hilarious because everybody has on earphones and they're all listening to different stations, rocking out to whatever they're dancing to and like singing to the music. And the person next to them is dancing and listening to something totally different in their own happy land. And everybody's like, this person's on this beat and this person's doing this thing. And like, everybody's on something different, but everybody's all happy and just dancing and jamming and playing air guitar. I mean, it is, if you've never been to one before, and if there's one on your cruise, you got to go. They're so much fun. The kids had fun. The adults had fun. Everybody had fun.
Nice.
Yeah, super fun. Then we went to adult karaoke. So the kids went and who knew what they did? I don't know. We went to adult karaoke. That people were super talented. Thank God it didn't make your ears bleed. Hung out with more friends, got into more chuckles and drinks and got to hang out with Megan and Mark that night. So another fun evening, staying out later than we should have. And then last day at sea. So I went back to the Cove to meet I went to the Cove every day because I like the good coffee. Nicola, he's my favorite from Serbia because I'm Serbian. So I spent a lot of time with him. Got my French press. There's always something going on in the atrium. Like that morning after the coffee, there was a violin player playing up in the atrium who's just really phenomenal. You never know what's going on in the ship. I mean, sometimes it's on the navigator and sometimes you just stumble upon things. Lindsay and I had the royal gathering. So we met Rapunzel, Tiana, Belle, Moana, and Cinderella. And that one you sign up for, but it's free. But you could meet all 5 of those princesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're in and out of there. But if you like characters, Disney Cruise Line is the place to be because there are characters everywhere. Okay, I'm hurrying up. Tim and I had Palo brunch that day. That was phenomenal.
How was it?
It was phenomenal. I mean, our server, we asked if he would make wine pairings for us for each course because, we love wine. So he did that. We had some beautiful, lovely whites with our eggs courses and a glass of red with our heartier courses. Everything was phenomenal. It is a long experience. It took us about 2.5 hours. So you got to plan on that. The only thing oh, go ahead.
Can kids eat there?
No, 18 and older.
Oh, 18. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the kids then while you go eat?
When they were younger, they would go to kids club, which they're normally really happy to do. They normally don't want to leave kids club. Vanna and Lindsay both have self check-in privileges because they're old enough now. So, I mean, Lindsay's old enough to do whatever, but Landon would just check himself in and out of Edge. So he was he was playing chess and I don't know, he was running all around and stuff. They did a trivia, I think, together. I don't know. They were doing their
Do
own.
they then eat at a different restaurant or how
No,
does
that
that
was
work?
brunch. I'm sorry. That was brunch. So that was a 11:30 a.m. brunch.
So do they eat somewhere else though for lunch then, or
Yeah, they just
how does
go
that work?
to Marceline Market, which is just the buffet and get whatever they want.
So
Oh,
it's not a cabana. Is it like cabanas?
It's like Cabanas.
But it
It's
just changed the name.
Just changed names. But there's also a quick service. They've got like barbecue, brisket. They have a Chipotle type of station. They have burgers and fries, and they have pizza. So that's also a grab and go. Unfortunately, they don't stay open as late as I think they should. They close entirely too early when people are, though, especially those of us who have the first seating for dinner. It's 11 o'clock and you want a little munchy and everything's closed, and that's a little upsetting.
Yeah, that's a lot different from like the Dream where you can go up to the top floor
Yeah.
and get pizza and
Pizza-
everything all times of night.
The pizza was open, I think, until 11 or 11:30, but that was it. All the other places were
Still 24-hour room service though. So you
yeah.
Okay.
We never got it, but yeah, 24-hour room service. That night was dinner at 1923. I wish I would have been hungrier because everyone said that's the best meal and the food looked absolutely phenomenal. I was just still so stuffed from brunch.
Apollo brunch got you.
Oh, that Apollo brunch got me. But you don't know your dinner rotation until you get on the ship. So it's hard to know when to book Palo because you don't want to, had I known that we were in Arundel twice, I would have wanted to book Palo one of those nights, but you just don't know until you're on the ship. So that night the show was Aladdin, which I have to say was something else I was a little disappointed in. That show's on the other ships. I don't understand that. I don't understand why it's a repeat show, why it's one on the other ships, like why they couldn't come up with something new and original. Disney has 8 zillion things of IP. You can't pluck from one of those and put on a new performance. I don't know. It's a great show and it's funny and makes me laugh, but why repeat something else you have? I don't know. That was strange. Lindsay and Emily did karaoke that night. That was pretty fun. So we got to watch them do karaoke. And that's the night we actually made it to the midnight kiss on time. So the very last night, we all went as a family to go look up at the light at midnight. So yeah, everything. Again, and the ride. Everyone was asking about the slide, the new slide. The other cruise lines have a water slide. This one was like a ride / show type of things. Think of like Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railroad with a water slide.
Did it break down?
In it.
I'll
It
ask
broke
you.
down twice when we were in line. But I was determined to get on it because I hadn't been on it yet. And I was like, you gotta do this. I'm gonna check this off my list. It was okay.
Is it a water slide?
It is. You go in a tube in a water and you watch this little show and then you go on a water slide and you do get quite wet. The pools also I thought were very disappointing. Instead of big pools, they were these smaller pools and they were hot. It was like hot. Like this mom put her foot in. She's like, "Oh my God, that's like a bath." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not refreshing. It was not pleasant." So I didn't like the pools or the water slide very much. The adult pool was okay, but it was also not my favorite. So there were things on the ship that were, I'm still team fantasy. That's still my favorite ship. So
Was it a dry heat, Joey, on that pool? Or?
In the pool?
Boiling water. It felt like it was boiling. It's like you took a coffee pot of hot water without coffee and dumped it in the pool. It was hot.
what I get from, and thank you for that, for even sharing that, because me, I love the dream, right? And the dream and the fantasy basically are the exact same. Um, the Wish has all this stuff like the Star Wars Lounge that you don't get on the Dream. Um, the Marvel, you don't get that on there. But overall, you kind of like what you like. I like having like these midship elevators and stuff like that. Right? I like having a running pad where there's no dead ends. I don't think there's a single dead end on the Dream.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how, I don't know, it's a design flaw. Or I guess it's not a flaw because most people, I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of rhyme or reason on why they did it, but still, to your point, sometimes you go back to your old reliable.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like the little things like the Midship Detective Agency, which is a fun game that my kids love. They run all around the ship and doing that. And it's a card and you hold this is all on your phone now. And the last thing I want to do is tell my kids to get on their phone more. We're on vacation. Like I mean, they had to have their phones so they could communicate with us if they were on their ice cream number 72, but I don't want them to go around playing the game with their phone necessarily. And I don't know. So again, am I glad I went on that trip? Absolutely. Am I glad I experienced the Wish? Yes. Did I have a phenomenal time with some wonderful people? Yes. Did I make fantastic memories? Yes. Would I sign up for another Wish cruise anytime soon? Probably not.
What if it was longer? You think because a 4-day cruise is real short, so you can't really get your bearings till it's almost time to get off there. You think if it was longer, you may like it more? Maybe the water in a pool would have cooled off a little bit by then? Because
I would have brought a cup of ice and thrown it in the pool before I got in the pool. Honest to goodness, it was not refreshing. And like I said, the whole ship was not cold. I don't know. I mean,
I don't like being hot on the ship either, though.
Listen,
I like my room cold too.
Everything else was as you expect. Our stateroom host was amazing. Our servers were amazing. The entertainment was great. There's tons of things for us to do and our kids to do, and everybody's running around having a great time and finding friends and doing things. You're never bored. There's almost sometimes too many things to do because you've got to make a decision. Do I want to do this or this? All that's great. That's the crew and the staff are great. But again, had it been my first Disney cruise, maybe I would have felt different. I don't know, because I had nothing to compare it to, but I still team fantasy. And I went way too long. So sorry. We talked about
it's good.
And then we spent the last night at the Poly, John, which was awesome. And we sent you all the pineapple pictures.
I know. I loved seeing you guys enjoying delicious lapu lapu together. It really warmed my heart that is now something you guys can enjoy in the future.
We went down the slide 100 times. It was a super rainy day, so we'd get in the pool, leave, get in the pool, but we had a good day.
But in terms of like the important questions about the Poly, what are your thoughts on the lapu lapu? Because I was nervous because I know you're not super into sweet things, and that's a very sweet drink.
I think because it was steamy and hot and rainy, it felt refreshing and good. So we enjoyed it.
Okay, good.
Did you go to Trader Sam's or anything like that?
We did. We took the kids there because we went early in the day. And Tim got the Black Pearl.
Oh,
I know. Lucky Tim. So
nice.
I'm not sure that they understood all the antics and the 2 shots of rum and all that, but we had fun being in there, and they drink some.
Does a teenager say, "Why are they doing that? Why are they running around?"
Yeah, she was. She was fine. We were all so tired, though. I mean, everyone's like, "How relaxing the cruise?" I'm like, "Yeah, no."
That's no. It seems like a lot of activity and a lot of just doing.
I mean, you can relax. You can. I mean, people went to the spa and did stuff like that. We're active people, so we were active. So.
Yeah. I like to take naps on the cruise. It's the craziest thing, but I go back to the room and just take naps. And then power through it, and then power through the night stuff in between tastings.
Yeah,
all that kind of good stuff. So.
A lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like you had an awesome trip. That's a long time to be gone, so that's great.
It was a long time, and we were all very tired.
I give it to you. You are a Viking for doing that cruise during the summer. I don't even do Disney in the summer. So you doing 5 days in the park and then getting on a boat in that heat, I give it to you. I salute you.
Yeah,
tip my hat to you.
It was fun. We had a good time. We had a very, very good time.
Awesome. Well, that's really fun. And if anybody has any questions about Disney Cruise Line, it sounds like both you and Lonnie have been on quite a few voyages, I guess they would be called. Boat trips.
Yeah.
You guys have gone out on the dinghy a few times, so if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to Jodie or Lonnie through our Facebook group, Disney with the Ducks. And I'm sure Gene is willing to answer any questions you have about the Disney cruise ships.
Or Crescent.
Anything that's available through the Google machine, Gene can help you with that cruise.
That's I can help you with it. That's right.
And I've never been on a boat that size, so I have nothing to add. But it sounds fun. It sounds amazing.
Is the Wish smaller than the Dream?
Apparently, it's bigger by 4 staterooms.
Really? Okay.
So that was some Imagineer being like, we have to be bigger than that one.
Yeah. That's what we were told.
They don't make any claims like the Titanic did about like being unsinkable or anything like that, do they?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No.
Boy, oh boy. Okay, well,
too soon.
No sub will be visiting the Wish.
Yeah.
No sub will be visiting the Wish. Now that's too soon. Strike that.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I just feel good without the card.
Oh boy. All right. Well, now I guess with that, it's just time to move on to our favorite part of the show. We're gonna do Quacking Up with the Ducks. So Lonnie, what do you got?
Speaking of, and I thought about this one because of the cruise Jodie was on. So how did the pirate get his ship for so cheap?
How?
I don't know.
It was on sale.
Oh boy.
Lonnie, my joke is, how do you get a good deal on a boat?
It was on sale?
When there is a
I'm
sale
sorry.
on it.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So you took my exact, so we had the same thought there. So 2 for 1 joke, everybody.
All right, Gene, what do you got going on in life that's fun?
Well, I've told you guys, I've been trying to cultivate some things in my garden, and I'm having I got a couple of cantaloupes going. I got some cucumbers, no tomatoes, man. Not a lot of peppers, and I'm having a hard time with the pollination. And so what I'm thinking is maybe I need to get some bees, and I'm just thinking, do you guys know what you call a beehive without an exit?
No.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Got it. Can't leave. Can't leave. Got it. It's one of those. That's a good one.
I had to wait for Lonnie to explain it. But once you did, it was funny.
Hey, also, I mean, since we're missing a joke because Jodie didn't really have they had the same one. Not your fault. It's only because Lonnie went first. But I'm thinking about if this doesn't work out with gardening, that I'm gonna become a DJ. I think because all I can grow is sick beats.
Oh man. Oh boy. All right. Well, if you listen this far, please go over to your podcatcher and give us a 5-star review. Tell us what you like that we're doing so we can try to do more of it. And make sure you join our Disney with the Ducks Facebook group so we can get some fun discussions going. And we'd love to hear about some of your experiences on Disney Cruise Line or doing a land and sea or surf and turf, maybe we call it, type of adventure. So leave some of your comments about that. And yeah, other than that, the only other thing I wanted to say tonight was Quaharini.
Peace out, everybody. We on the boat.
Thanks, everybody.